President Trump says the U.S. will be prioritizing tanks over T-shirts as he looks to focus American manufacturing on technology instead of textiles. Listen.
We're not looking to make sneakers and T-shirts. We want to make military equipment. We want to make big things. We want to do the AI thing with the computers and the many elements. But the textile, you know, I'm not looking to make T-shirts, to be honest. I'm not looking to make socks. We can do that very well at other locations.
I love how Trump talks about AI like I do. We're going to do the AI thing. Taylor Riggs, the host of the Big Money Show on Fox Business, joins me now. We're going to do the interview thing now.
Let's do it.
The American Apparel and Footwear Association. Not a fan of those comments by the president, as you might imagine. But
sure.
Does the president have a point?
He absolutely does. And, you know, on one hand, surprising because we hadn't heard this out of his mouth directly, but on the other hand, not surprising. Scott Bessent has said this months ago. Scott Bessent, our Treasury Secretary, he talked about precision manufacturing, advanced manufacturing. He has even said, we don't need to be making Nike shoes here, right? We want AI. We want high-tech jobs. Everything that the president talked about, chips, ships, defense. And so really not a huge surprise if you've been listening to Scott Bessent. And I actually think people will be relieved because I think there was some worry. I had a lot of friends on the left look at me and they say, did you just blow up your economy so you could like make some T-shirts here? And I kept telling them that's not the point. The point is we want pharmaceuticals, defense, national security, and yes, we have to be the leader in AI. So I think actually there will be some relief from the American people. This is exactly what we wanted. I don't need to be sitting here making a T-shirt. I want to be the leader in the high-tech precision manufacturing, and that's what the president confirmed.
And also, what you just mentioned, pharmaceuticals, military, those are all things that if another country controls our supply of, they have a distinct advantage over us. When it comes to clothes, quite frankly, yes, let's say no clothes were imported for 5 years. We all may not be fashionable, but we can make do with what's in our closet. Yes. I know my wife might be upset. She'd say you look like a soccer dad, and I do. But let's flip it around. Realistically, if we were able to manufacture everything, clothes-wise, all the textiles in the United States, would the American people be willing to pay the increased price to have all their stuff made in, you know, Vermont and not Vietnam?
For self-defense and national security, I think yes. For an iPhone, maybe not, right? I've read some reports that if you want to move iPhone here, it could be a 5 to 10 year process. You could have a $300 increase or an iPhone that's now $3,500, right? I think that's where people would push back and be like, can't we just outsource this to India?
But not for socks. Like, you're not willing to pay for a $5 pair of socks. Nobody in America is going to pay $25.
No, but when it comes to a pharmaceutical, when it comes to ships and chips, and look how it turned out in COVID when they decided, oh, never mind, you guys don't get PPE. How did that work out? So I think that is where Americans are a little bit more awake now and thinking about what's really important. What's the priority? When it comes to AI, absolutely. All of the world's AI programs should be running on NVIDIA and American-made chips. The president showed that when he was in the UAE and in Saudi Arabia, and that has to be the path forward. I think people are open to that. I would pay more to knowing that Merck has come in and said, I'm going to build Keytruda, my key cancer drug, for the first time ever in the United States. Great, let's do that.
I agree. I think that's so right because at the end of the day, if we don't have that kind of security, all the other stuff does not.
Exactly.
Matter. Taylor Riggs, thank you so much for coming in.
My pleasure.
I know you guys don't have anything on business today. You came in on your off day, and we thank you for that.
The lazy business people.
Well, the markets are closed. They're not lazy. We love our friends at Fox Business.